Welcome to Potter Than Hell's That's 70s Month. Hello, Potter Than Hellions. Welcome back to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is Steve, your host, and I'm joined as always by... And our keyboard player tonight will be...
Well, it's not me, but I'm Dylan.
Oh, that's right. I'm the keyboard player tonight, too.
Keyboardist. Yeah,
that's right. I'm actually recording this episode so I can get my chops up for the Rockin' Pod Expo, because it'll be myself and BB there, and I just want to make sure I know what the hell I'm doing, and don't have a cool interview with someone like Michael Sweet and then not have it fucking recorded. That would suck ass. And we are joined this evening by... this guy's a newbie on the Potter Than Hell podcast. I appeared on this gentleman's podcast along with his two other co-hosts, Ages of Rock's Dennis Talbot. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. I appreciate you having me on. It was a fun time when you were on here a couple weeks ago. We had a fun conversation, and it's always good talking to you. And looking forward to hanging with you guys also again this year at the Rockin' Pod 3. So it's going to be a fun time. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Dennis, before we get going, give all our listeners out there a word on your podcast. Hopefully they listen to yours. If not, they can hopefully check you guys out. Tell them about it.
Sure. We've got our website. It's at agesofrock.com. One word. We actually put on YouTube. We actually do video and audio. So if you want to see our ugly faces, you can go to YouTube and watch it. Or if not, it's on Apple or iTunes. It's on Spotify, Spreaker, and you can go to our page and listen to the Libsyn, I guess it is, site if you want to just download it from there. And then we're on all the medias. But no, we've been doing this for about we're in our fourth year now. We've just did episode 172. Oh, actually, no, that was the one that you were on. So it was. I don't know. It was 173, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's a great podcast, guys out there. Give those guys a shot at the title. And like Dennis said, I was on with those guys a couple weeks ago. It was fun. We did our top shows, top bands that we haven't got a chance to see. It was a good conversation. Did a little vinyl talk, a little back and forth about that, and we had a really good time. And I just want to say good luck to one of your co-hosts. Sons, Noah, I think, right? He's going to West Point, and he's going this weekend.
Bill's on the road right now.
Yep.
So, yeah, he's on the road today. That's why we had to do a real quick recording, and then, they're going to actually, they're driving up, and I guess he starts Monday is the day he goes in. So,
yeah, great.
Yeah, it was a really incredible thing it's a big thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck to him, and he's right in our neck of the woods now, so, like I told Bill when we were on your podcast, if they go to an Army football game out there, let me know if he's going to go up and we can get up there and hook up.
Oh, I'm sure he will be. I'm sure he'll once they can. I think this first portion of the college or the start of it's kind of like a boot camp, so they don't get to talk or hear from him for almost like so many weeks. So I think once that's over with, then it'll be where they can travel up there and see him. And they're planning on going to Madison Square Garden to see a concert, no matter what it is, and a few things like that. So he'll use his time wisely and take advantage of it, I'm sure. And he'll probably be knocking on your door a couple times, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we're definitely available here, and we hit the Army football games quite a bit up here. So it's only like 2 hours and change from us, so it's not a bad ride at all.
No, it's not bad.
Yeah, so
not bad at all.
Before we get rocking here, we'll go through what are we all listening to. Dennis, what are you listening to these last couple days or whatever?
Well, I've been listening to a lot of Black Sabbath, and I wonder why.
Oh, I don't know.
But no, I did. I took a. I guess I'll explain it later. But yeah, Black Sabbath's what I've been listening to this week.
All right, Dylan, how about you?
I've also been listening to Black Sabbath, but I had to cut it with something a little lighter, so I went back to, and this is a little out of format, so you could bust me after, but
all right.
I was listening to Elton John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road album. Fantastic album, filled with such awesome songs as the hits of Candle in the Wind, Benny and the Jets, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. But there's some really good under the radar songs like Funeral for a Friend / Love Lies Bleeding, which, Dad, you might have heard Dream Theater cover on the longest EP in existence.
Yes.
This song Has No Title is a really good song, and I've seen that movie too, is also fantastic.
Cool. Yeah, I'm still kind of on my heavier music kick. I've been listening to a lot of, actually, since we did the Thrash episode, I've been listening to Anthrax a lot, and getting into them. Be. Yeah, and I watched they played the Hellfest, which I think, I don't know, I don't want to throw out a country name there. I'm not really sure where it is. I think it's in France, but not sure. And watched the whole show from out there live one day on the internet. It was freaking excellent.
Did they do the French version of Antisocial?
They did not. They did not. They did the English version of it now.
Have you ever heard the French version?
I have. It's weird to hear.
Yeah, Joey sure has a mouthful.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And actually, I just picked up Ozzy tribute album on vinyl, and I had that on vinyl a long time ago, and I actually won that at a one of those games in New Jersey where you throw the big ball in the ring and it lands on something, and they used to have all albums, and that's how I won that album. And for some reason it's just gone. I don't know if it was traded in for CDs or whatever years ago, but I was able to just pick that up for, I think I got it for like $10, I think. Great shape.
That's reasonable. That's a good deal.
And I picked up.
That's a 2-record set, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, the double album, like real good. I forgot how good that was. I haven't listened to that in years. And actually, I just picked up Ozzy No Rest for the Wicked, so I've been kind of Ozzy binging lately too, along with the Black Sabbath.
That's interesting, since Bloodbath in Paradise was on the radio when we got in the car.
It was. That's true. I forgot about that. And totally my favorite Ozzy song. So, guys out there, here's what we're listening to. Dennis listened to some Black Sabbath. We've been all binging on Black Sabbath this week. Dylan, same. And he's been listening to Elton John. Is it Goodbye to Yellow Brick Road?
Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Okay. And I've been listening to some Anthrax and some Ozzy tribute and No Rest for the Wicked. So before we get into our topic this week, let's take a little quick break for the news. Okay, this week in the news, there's not really a whole hell of a lot going on. You guys know that Steven Adler stabbed himself, and apparently unintentionally. It wasn't an end run, so he's apparently doing fine. So we will skip over that. And I want to say this last week, I went to see the Ace Frehley band play down in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania at the FM Kirby Center. And I have to say that my Hotter Than Hell companions abandoned me for the evening, so...
Second time we recorded this and he still bashes us.
I am. I got to throw it out there.
I don't know. I gave him free tickets and he still bashed me.
I got it there. Well, they weren't for me because I already bought mine, so I couldn't even give away the tickets.
Oy.
So it was me, Rob Kelleher. You mind? He drove. We picked up Chris Granz on the way down. Rained like a motherfucker when we picked up Chris, and so we went down. We hooked up with Matt Porter from the Kiss Room and his cool brother Anthony. We actually saw Jeremy, Ryan, and Phil on the way in. They were taking a couple of pictures with guys, so we didn't want to bother them. They were going to get something to eat, so we said a quick hello. Went into Franklin's, had some beers. We met up with Ed Spangenberg. We met up with our buddy Scott Sadowski that was on the Kiss Live episode, and his buddy was with him there. And we hooked up with Ed Spangenberg and Peter Cesare from the I Love It Loud cast. And we had a great dinner. We had some drinks and a ton of laughs and shot the shit. Speaking of Ed Spangenberg, you guys, he showed us, he was finally able to hook up with Eric Carr's camp. He does, for you guys that don't know, he does the Click Tea Shop that has the awesome Kiss, non-Kiss shirts. And actually, I'm wearing the Ace Frehley Wings, Eagle Wings shirt right now. And he hooked up with the Eric Carr estate, and he's going to be this month putting out some, I think it's 3 or 4 different Eric Carr shirts. We're going to get Ed on here to do a little quick synopsis of what he's got going. He showed us the artwork that he's going to have coming out for these shirts, and it is absolutely fucking amazing. He showed all us guys, and we were just like absolutely fucking blown away by the designs that he has for these Eric Carr shirts coming out. And it's going to be a limited run of these shirts, so they're only going to be available for a month. So once they come out, you're going to have to grab them up quickly because they're only going to be available so far for only 30 days. So we'll get Ed on here to get that going. I'm going to talk about the concert a little bit, and if you guys have any questions or anything. And you guys know that I am probably one of the podcasting harshest critics of Ace. And if you want to go back and listen to the Kiss Cruise episode from last year, Ace was like totally unpracticed, and the band, their backs must have been hurting. They just carried him through those whole shows on the cruise. But I got to tell you, being Ace's harshest critic, well, one of them anyways, besides probably Paul and Gene, he brought the goods. He brought the fucking goods this week. He played excellent, sounded great. The only thing was, like, when he talked between songs, you couldn't really hear him. He was kind of mumbling. It was kind of like listening to BC when he's not drinking. You kind of got that like kind of thing. And I didn't realize that apparently he said, "Hopefully I don't pass out playing Rocket Ride." Or he said something to that effect.
I read that online.
And I couldn't hear what the fuck he was saying, and we were only in the fourth row. But it was a great show. My only complaint, and we gotta have some kind of fucking complaint. Too much Kiss stuff. I'm sorry. Too much. BB, read the set list for us.
All right,
please.
here's the set list. Rip It Out, which is his own.
Kick-ass.
But then you have a couple Kiss songs: Parasite, Hard Times, Watching You. Then you have Ace's song Rockin' with the Boys. Then you go to a Kiss Rocket Ride. Then you go to Ace's Mission to Mars. Then you go back to Kiss, Strange Ways. Well, then you go 2000 Man. That's either whatever way you want to go that one. That kind of borderlines both of them. And then Ace song Rock Soldiers. New York Groove, which is on his
78
on his solo. Shock Me. Then you have a little solo. Then you do Kiss Cold Gin. Then your encore is Detroit Rock City and Deuce. So you have 4 actual Ace songs out of 16.
It's a bit disappointing that he didn't delve deeper into his own catalog, but it's par for the course. He always does bring out the Kiss songs, and I mean, for the most part, they're the more well-known ones. But if you're going to see Ace Frehley, you'll know a lot of the Frehley's Comet, and all his solo stuff where he's just Ace Frehley. So I don't know why he's so hesitant.
Right. I think the reason that Ace is so hesitant is because he doesn't want to practice the fucking other songs, truthfully. It was awesome. Like, Hard Times was great. He did it on the Kiss Cruise. He actually knew the lyrics without any teleprompters or anything on this one. Great version of the song. Watching You was kind of the surprise of the set for me.
Yeah.
It was really cool. I want to say either Jeremy or Phil sang that song.
That was my next question.
But it was cool. It was cool here. I absolutely love that song. It's really cool. So I'm sure that it was either Ryan, Phil, or Jeremy that brought that song into the set, which was really fucking cool. Rockin' with the Boys was excellent. So glad that he did a newer song. Rocket Ride, you're gonna get that, which is totally fine with me. Yeah. Kiss Alive 2 Side 4, fucking excellent. Mission to Mars. New song in the set. There's a video out for that. Check it out on YouTube. Oh, yeah. It has cool. Features Ace. It's like this cartoon kind of thing. And if you watch the video, there's Phil, Ryan, and Jeremy on there, and they actually have the Ace Wings shirt that I'm wearing right now as their uniforms on that video, which is kind of cool. And it was the only time in the show. Out comes the roadie dude, and he had the music stand, and he had the lyrics for Ace there to read for Mission to Mars, which was okay, but it's a rockin' song. It's fucking excellent. I would rather see him do that and read the lyrics than not do the song. 2000 Man, totally sick of it. The lighted guitar, which is, I mean, it's good though. There's a lot worse songs he could have did. Rock Soldiers, I think, is the song that totally bored the shit out of me.
Really?
Huh?
How do we know?
Because we know, because they're Rock Soldiers.
Ace is back, and I told you.
And they has the crowd. I'm like, and from the M3 episodes, I refuse to sing along with the crowd. Refuse to do that. New York Groove was actually a really cool version of it. I didn't mind it at this show. Shock Me, love it. It's a staple. You got to do it. I'd rather see Ace and his band do it than see Kiss do it with Tommy singing. And no disrespect to Tommy, but kick ass. He did the solo there, and it was mercifully short. It was really mercifully short. Had the guitar smoke up, hit both sides of the stage, and kind of ended it quickly, which was fucking totally fine with me. My main problem with this concert was they did Cold Gin, and he had the crowd sing the whole fucking song.
You didn't do your favorite part, though, at least.
No.
What?
No, well...
The crowd did it.
Yeah.
No,
and of course they're all looking at me. Quat! You know. Then they come out. Did Detroit Rock City? Ryan sang that song, which was cool. Always love. I have no qualms about Detroit Rock City ever. And ended up the set with Deuce, which is kind of an odd closing song.
Because that's usually the opening song.
But they didn't do the moves, though. They all got together for that part.
That's trademarked.
But is it real? No.
No.
It probably fucking is. But
if you go to GeneSimmons.com.
It was a really good show, and I have very minimal complaints about it. But like Ace's performance was great. He tore it up. He seemed to be on his game. The band was phenomenal. And the only thing that I hated was like I couldn't see Matt's star because he had this big ride symbol like. Where we were sitting, it was like right where you couldn't see him.
Dare he?
I know. He needs to change the symbol configuration next time we fucking see them.
Come on, man.
But I'll tell you what, he tore it up. And when they did Rip It Up, and Rip It Out. I'm sorry. He did Rip It Up and Rip It Out. That drum part in the middle, totally nailed it. Totally fucking killed it. It was like. Me and Rob were like, that's how you fucking play that song. That's how you fucking play that song. And it was great because it was like it was me and Rob and Scott and his buddy in the same row. We were all just kind of rocking together, and it was a great show. And I have no complaints whatsoever. And I can't wait to see Ryan and Phil and Jeremy in Nashville. BB, you and I will be seeing them.
Ryan's in front of you.
Ryan, that's not Ryan. That's BB. We'll be seeing those guys in Nashville because they are the rock and roll residency. We'll be checking them out at the pre-party at the Rockin' Pod 3, Nashville Marriott, August 10th. The pre-show is August 9th. We will be there. Actually, we may get there just in time for the fucking show when our flight comes in, BB. But we will absolutely be there. We will check those guys out. So stop in the Rockin' Pod 3 down there in Nashville. Come meet us, hang out with us, have a couple beers. It's going to be a great time. You'll be there with great guys like Stephen Michael and Sonny Pooney from the Grown Up Rock podcast. You'll have the guys from Podcast Rock City, Matt Porter from the Kiss Room. You're going to have David and Chris from the Digital Killed the Radio Star podcast. You're going to have you're only going to have Peter and no quotations Vinny from the I Love It Loudcast, but Chris and Aaron from the Decibel Geek podcast. A ton of us guys going to be down there. Come out and hang out with us. So with that being the news, not much news, but you know what? Fuck it. It was a concert review instead of news tonight. So we'll get right back into the show. All right. That news is just crazy, Dylan.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yep. Okay.
There's been better, there's been worse.
Absolutely. All right, this week's topic, as you guys could see from the title, we're going to be talking about Black Sabbath. And as I alluded to on our last episode, that for the next 3 months, we're going to be doing decades. We're going to be doing the 70s this month in July, and then, I don't have to explain it, 80s and then 90s, okay? And so we figured let's start off July, the 70s, with the godfathers or grandfathers or whatever the hell you want to call it of heavy metal. So we're going to do Ozzy era Black Sabbath. And what we're going to do is each guy is going to give us our top 6 Ozzy Black Sabbath songs. So we're going to have the 666 of Black Sabbath. So, Dennis, we'll let you go first. Give us your, what do you want to do, Dylan? Do you want to do three then each?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Dennis, give us your first 3. Explain to everybody how you went about picking the songs and your little synopsis of each one, and then we'll go around the table.
Sure. Like I said, I binged this listening to is there 7? There's 7 albums of Ozzy with Black Sabbath.
8 or 9, depending on what you count.
Okay, I was just counting what Spotify's releases, so I was just going by that, up till From Heaven and Hell. So I'm sure there was some reissues or something like that. No, and the thing was, is I'm a huge Ozzy fan, but other than the hits off of Black Sabbath, I wasn't really familiar with all of their songs. You know what I'm saying? I
Yep.
just I knew that the hits. The only album that I ever really had, it was my aunt's album, and I just kind of acquired it, and it was Paranoid. So that's the only full album that I ever had. But like the first album, second album, I really never listened to them except for the hits. So to me, I love stuff like this because once again, because of these podcasts, made me open up to a lot of music that I didn't even know existed. And so thank you guys for putting me on this because I did. I found a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, it's quite a journey.
It is. So getting into it, first song that one of my favorite songs from Black Sabbath is actually Black Sabbath. Now, I mean, it's the first song on the first record. I mean, it's like, and the thing is, it's really. I kind of think of it this way. I'm sure that they said, you know what, guys. Okay, we're going to have this band. We're going to put out our first album, and the first song needs to really be like a description of our band, just encapsulate everything what we're about. And I'll tell you what, they knocked it out of the park. I mean, that song is just absolutely everything that Black Sabbath. When you think of the name and the know of the band, that's exactly what it is. I mean, the song is just masterpiece. Well, that one there, I was trying not to pick the songs that I knew. I was going to try to pick stuff that I didn't really know, that some newer stuff, but some of these ones I just had to throw in there because they are that good.
Absolutely.
So, number 2, well, we don't get too far into that album. The second song, The Wizard, is probably one of my favorite songs, but that Ozzy did with Black Sabbath also. I love the harmonica in it. I think it's just, like I said, that first album is a masterpiece. I actually texted the guys from our podcast when I started listening to it. I said, here I start. And I said, that first album was just unbelievable. There's just so many good stuff on it. All right, so if we're going to go to 3, the next one that I picked was actually off of Paranoid, and it's basically Jack the Stripper / Fairies Wear Boots. That's another one of those songs that I really liked. I mean, of course, it was a lot of these songs appeared on, the Speak of the Devil album. And some of them I'm better on that album than the original, but Fairies Wear Boots is just a perfect song. It's really good too. So those are my 3.
All right, cool. That's a great start. Dylan, what about Dennis's picks here?
I think you honestly picked the best song to start with because that is their mission statement, Black Sabbath.
Exactly.
It has that moody rain at the beginning and the church bell tolling, and you just feel like you're in a graveyard, and it puts a picture in your mind, and it honestly is the perfect song to encapsulate the band. And they actually opened with it when we saw them, right?
Yes.
That's a perfect opening song. And
Exactly.
Fairies Wear Boots and what was your...
The Wizard.
The Wizard. Those are
The
two
Wizard, right.
perfect songs. The Fairies Wear Boots, I love the... It's like it's got an upbeat feel to it, but it still has that Sabbath edge, and I really appreciate it. And I think you hit the nail on the head. Harmonica is the word that you use when talking about the Wizard, because that's the first thing you think of. It's the first thing you hear, and it's such an interesting use of it, and it works really well in the song. It's basically the main instrument for a long time in the song. It has the main riff.
Mm-hmm. And the bass line in that is just, it's just really funky. I mean, the whole thing, and that's one thing that I noticed by going through all these albums, especially the early stuff. Some of that stuff is almost jazzy. You know what I'm saying? That music is not all just dark gloom and doom. And
no,
there's some really kind of funky, jazzy kind of interludes, mixed in with these songs. So it's an interesting. That's why I like going through this whole catalog, because I heard stuff that never. So anyway.
Yeah, it's all about Geezer Butler. He's such an unsung hero for Black Sabbath, even though he wrote a majority of the early stuff going on through. And love his bass lines, love his lyrics. Yeah, he's fantastic.
He's kick-ass. Great picks. Black Sabbath, I don't think that there is a better introduction to a band and or album than the song Black Sabbath. I mean, you hit that down, that first note, you're like, what the fuck is this? and just to kind of, it puts it into perspective for me. They recorded this whole first album in 24 hours, which is crazy, which is absolutely insane. I think it's great, and for an album that came out in 1970, the sound on it is phenomenal. It's unbelievable. And The Wizard, total kick-ass song. That's actually one of my picks, and actually that's my first pick actually. So when it comes to me, I'll just go over that quick. And Fairies Wear Boots. That's actually on my list also, but I'll do my description of that when I get to my pick for that one though. But I mean, you're knocking out of the park so far, and it's just and it's funny too. Like if you listen to the first Black Sabbath album, I think that you could pick apart the drums, the bass, the guitar, and like each instrument has its own song, but they're like thrown together, and like. It's crazy. Like Dylan said, like you guys said, listen to the bass line in like The Wizard and stuff like that. It's just crazy. It's phenomenal. Yeah. And I think that they're correct in being called like the Godfathers or fathers of metal, because just that first note on the song Black Sabbath just says it all for these guys. Yeah. Cool. All right, Dylan. What's your first three?
So I found it extremely fascinating that the Ozzy era Sabbath started in 1970 and ended, like their last album was 1978. And that was just in that one decade was all of the stuff that everybody talks about with Sabbath besides Dio. And everybody raves about Sabbath. It's almost like the Beatles, how such a short span of time they were able to come up with these amazing, groundbreaking, and genre-creating songs, if you will. So I'll go in chronological order. Start with the song off of the first album that I picked. I picked "Wicked World." It's got this cool, jammy beginning, and it's almost like you were saying with everybody. The instruments are doing their own song, but together. The beginning is very much like that because you got the guitar going, and the bass is just going. It works really well together, and it's very bluesy. The riff almost sounds like an early Rush riff. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's really cool. There's a really cool slow part in the middle to break it up. And then there's the one part of the song that maybe I could use some backing instruments is there's just a plain solo, no instruments underneath it. That goes on for a little bit, but then it comes right back to the awesome riff. And it's a great song, an underrated song, I think, off of the first album.
Dylan, that's the one that's like, do, right?
Maybe yes. That's the riff. Okay. That's the main riff I'm thinking of. Yeah. So my second song is off of Paranoid, which I love this album. It's a fantastic album. I went with Electric Funeral. First off, for me, the whole thing is Ozzy going Electric Funeral. I love that. The droning of his voice for that, and honestly, how he does the early verses as well, making it moody and goes with the nuclear Armageddon feel to it. And it just puts you in a mindset that's really dark and grim, much like the first song in Black Sabbath. And I love the cool speed up in the middle. It changes up the tempo really cool and makes it a different, unique song, an underrated song, I think, again. And then my third pick is also from Paranoid, and also an underrated song, Hand of Doom. Any song that starts with bass, very quiet, Ozzy comes in with the creepy vocals, and then the chorus, it's loud, and it's the loud, soft, going back and forth, ending up making this really cool concoction, and there's a nice tempo change again in the middle that's really awesome. It's almost a swingy vibe to it, and I think these are three songs that aren't talked about as much when you talk about Sabbath, but should be, in my opinion.
All right, great picks, Ed. Dennis, what about Dylan's?
I liked it. I mean, I like his picks. The thing is all these albums, there's not really a bad song. I mean, there's not a bad song on it. There's not really a stinker. Now, there are some that are probably more popular than others, but there again, it gets down to the point where it's an opinion of the listener. It's what grabs you, what makes you, what makes you feel different. But no, they're all great picks, all those songs. I had a hard time nailing it down. Like I said, I went back and forth. My six have went from changes, so many changes. It's just ridiculous. And, I just had to go with finally my gut feeling on my own, But no, great picks. I agree with everything you said on that.
Yeah, I think they're good picks. Wicked World, I think, is really cool, and
It is a good song.
Electric Funeral, I do like electric funeral, electric. That's, I don't know, that just cracks me up. It's so
like
catchy.
The squealing guitar in the background.
And Hand of Doom, that song, I love the drum beat when it comes in and he's like doing like the rim shot on the snare drum. I think it's just such a cool beat, and the song just kind of builds and gets into it. I think it's great. I think they were 3 really good picks, and like you said, Dennis, I don't think that there's going to be any bad picks here, because
No.
There's definitely some weird stuff and some stuff that is like, wow, like where the fuck did that come from kind of shit, but then you're like, wow, that was actually like weird and cool at the same time, and
Exactly.
yeah. So my 3 picks is the Wizard. We talked about that. The harmonica is definitely makes the song. I think it makes it unique. Like, I mean, it's 1970. I mean, and this that song is still instantly recognizable because of that. And my second song that I picked is from Masters of Reality. My picks aren't in any kind of order. I picked Into the Void, and I've always liked that song. I thought it was kind of off the beaten path kind of song, and that's one of the songs that you don't really hear about, but like the riffing on it and the whole song in general is great. The first time I really ever heard that song was when I saw them with Tony Martin on the Forbidden tour, and they did this song, and I'm like, what the hell song is this? And then I went back and I'm like, holy shit, I didn't know what the hell it was. And one thing about the research for this episode is this is the first time that I've ever listened to the whole Black Sabbath catalog all the way through. And probably like Dennis and probably like Dylan, like you know the songs, the Iron Man and the War Pigs and Black Sabbath and all that shit. But like you get into some of these deeper tracks and they're like, wow, like why have I not heard of this song, or why is this song not as popular as these other songs? It's just really weird the way that comes out. The next song I picked is Symptom of the Universe. I always thought that was just a kick-ass song. Always loved it. And Ozzy sings really, really high on that song. And Dennis, you alluded to it before with Ozzy doing the not Just Say Ozzy. The Speak of the Devil album, I'm sorry.
Speak of the Devil, yeah. That's on there too, isn't it? Yeah. Symptom of the Universe is on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great song.
I love it, because that was the first time I ever heard that song. And I think that, and you were right, Dennis, I think that some of the versions on that Speak of the Devil, for me, are the definitive versions of those songs.
Right.
That band is so fucking good. You have Brad Gillis on lead guitar, you have Rudy Sarzo on bass, you have Tommy Aldridge on drums. Like, what a band. And, nothing against, the original Sabbath guys, but they really put some fucking energy into these songs. And like Symptom of the Universe is just a great song, and it's got that little acoustic part in the middle, and then it kind of comes back in. Just a really great song. Really great song. I think it's freaking excellent.
Exactly. It's one of those things with that album too. Just real quick, on Children of the Grave is one of my favorite songs on that live album. But the studio version is just so weak. It's just. Mm-hmm. It's not up to snuff. Like I said, the stuff that he did for that album, most of it came out so much better than the originals. I mean, it's one of those unusual. That's an unusual thing to say about an album, but it did, And so anyway,
right, especially when it's not the original guys playing it too.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And for that band to pull off those tracks in that fashion is crazy, because they weren't doing a tour of playing those songs. They just needed that album to just fulfill a contractual thing in their contract, and those guys just fucking killed it. And I'm sure the band probably just worked.
Think about too that the fact of they just lost Randy, so Ozzy's head's not on straight. Rudy, well, he was so that was one of his best friends.
Yep.
And that was not long after that because actually Randy didn't want to do that album. He was going to do it if he had to, but he protested and did not want to play those Black Sabbath songs. So, you know, after he passed away, then of course they threw this out first. But
Right.
you know, the band was in turmoil, but you know they put out a hell of an album.
They pulled that out great. What do you think about the songs, Dylan?
Into the Void. I'm disappointed it's not the Ace Frehley Kiss song. No, it's a great, it's a great song. It almost made my list. It was maybe top 10. Fantastic song. Same with Symptom of the Universe. I always liked that song. It would appear on the radio every now and then. Usually XM, not terrestrial radio. But it's fantastic, and I've already talked about The Wizard, but still a great song.
All right, cool. Dennis.
Of course, The Wizard, I already talked about that one. Symptom of the Universe, I do like that song because it's got that, it's an upbeat rhythm. Even though it's, Ozzy's has that chorusy drone, his Ozzy sound voice going on it. Musically wise, it's an upbeat song. Not like one of the other songs, Black Sabbath or whatever, drags you down. But no, I do like the rhythm in that a lot. And the other one was In the Void. That one there, it doesn't really hit. It's not one of the ones that hits me good, but it doesn't mean that it's a bad song. It's just one of the ones I kind of, okay, I'll listen to it, but it doesn't catch my attention. How's that?
Okay, that's fair enough, absolutely. There's our first 3 of the 666 for us guys, and we'll take a quick break, and we will get into the Hidden Gem. All right, this week's Hidden Gems, we will start with our esteemed guest, Mr. Dennis Talbot. What do you got for us, Dennis?
All right, and this is not like it's off the radar, and it's not something that people don't know about. But I went and I hit the record gold mine this weekend on my used records, and I picked up Billy Squier's "Don't Say No." That album is just a freaking phenomenal album. It's one of those ones I've never owned. I've never owned the key to it. I never had a cassette of it. But you heard the hits on the radio, and I wasn't a huge I wasn't a huge fan of Billy Squier, but I sit and listen to this thing in its entirety the other day, and it's like, going, holy shit, there's some great freaking songs on there. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's not under the radar, but it's one of those things I just kind of stayed away from. But it is an album, and I'm glad I picked it up. I kind of looked at it and I'm like, do I want this? I'm glad I did. It's a good album.
That's absolutely hilarious because I'm trying to find it here real quick. Shit, I can't find it. I actually just picked that up on Discogs like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did. Because I don't even know what made me think of it. I used to have it like back in the day, and I'm like, man, I haven't heard that stuff in a long time, so I wanted to check it out and grab it on vinyl. I think I got it for like $4, and it was like $4 or $5 in shipping, so I got it for like $9, which was in fantastic shape. And but that is a fantastic album. I'm sure Dylan, you're probably not familiar with that.
I'm not.
I picked it up for. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Dylan. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was saying I'm not familiar.
Oh, well then you need to pull it up and listen to it because it's.
It's really good.
I got mine for $5, and it looks like brand new. I mean, it was just an unbelievable copy. So yeah, it's one of those things. That first side, there isn't a song on there that you don't know. if you listen to the radio and in the what would have been late 70s. When that came out.
Yep. Yeah, they're all.
Other side, there's a couple of not stinkers, but not real popular ones in the middle. But there's still some stuff on the backside too. But yeah, it's a damn good album.
Yeah, it's a freaking excellent album. That was before he jumped the shark with the pink pants prancing around.
God, yeah, don't make videos. That's the thing is just put out music. It's one of those. He has a a face for radio?
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
Well,
and just the way he acts.
They say that he is probably the one person that makes the most money off of sampling is Billy Squier.
Really?
Yep. I don't know where I read that. I just read that a couple months ago, and I was like, holy shit! Like, because you got to figure they probably use the stroke and Everybody Wants You and all that stuff.
Right.
And he said Billy Squier is one of the most sampled artists that is out there today, which is crazy.
So what are you said? What are they using? The stroke or what is it?
I'm going to say they're probably using the stroke and probably Everybody Wants You and
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. The Stroke alone is probably on, a ton of shit. Because I mean, a lot of that stuff you hear and you just hear, you're like, and even if it's just for a quick second, like, ooh, that's the Stroke. You know what I mean? You hear a lot of it.
Right.
Not that it doesn't do a lot of shit that is a lot of sampled, but I guess it's used a ton. So that's crazy. That's a great pick though, and that's so funny that you said that. And I literally just picked that up like 2 weeks ago. Crazy. Excellent pick. Dylan, what do you got?
So my hidden gem is a twofer. I have 2 albums to promote, and I figured since we're talking about Sabbath, this would be the perfect time to do it. So the first hidden gem is a tribute album called Nativity in Black, a tribute to Black Sabbath. So you have covers of awesome Sabbath songs, the Megadeth cover of Paranoid's on there, the White Zombie cover of Children of the Grave's on there, Ugly Kid Joe does NIB, Typo Negative does Black Sabbath, so that's really cool. And my second hidden gem is Evil Lives, a true metal tribute to Black Sabbath. So you have Iced Earth doing Black Sabbath on this one, Primal Fear doing Die Young, which is awesome, Racer X doing Children of the Grave, we just talked about them last episode, Paranoid with George Lynch and Vince Neil, and some other really cool stuff. So 2 tribute albums for my hidden gem.
Excellent. Cool. The Nativity in Black one I've heard. I have actually on CD, but I haven't heard that other one. You familiar with any of them, Dennis?
Actually, I'm actually just the one Nativity in Black I just saw. It's actually on Spotify. So if you want to go on there, that whole album is on there. What was the other one you said?
It is
Evil Lives.
Evil Lives, a true metal tribute to Black Sabbath.
I got Live Evil.
It looks like the Live Evil cover.
It's
actually
not on here. Yeah, it doesn't. It's not on here. But the Nativity in Black is on here.
Yeah.
So it's Biohazard, White Zombie, Megadeth, Bruce Dickinson, Godspeed, Joe, Faith No More, Typo Negative. Yeah, that's that's a lineup right there.
Yeah, and the Typo Negative version of Black Sabbath down there is like, holy fuck! It's like, if you didn't think that song could get any doomier, listen to that version. It's like,
yeah, Peter Steele singing.
This will be on my list to have to listen to later.
Yeah, it's crazy, and there's a lot of cool shit on there. But like the Typo Negative version of the song Black Sabbath is just fucking insane. Really cool. Good pick still. Actually, the Evil Lives I haven't heard. I'll have to see if I can find that somewhere and check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna write this down so I can kind of look for that.
Yeah, and my pick this week has nothing to do with Black Sabbath either. And actually, this album came out probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it's the band Loudness. They have a new album out. It's called Live in Tokyo, and it's really good. There's for the run-of-the-mill person that never even heard of Loudness probably only knows Crazy Nights and maybe something like Heavy Chains or Like Hell, but it's a great it's only like a single album. It's not a double album, but there's some really, really good stuff on there. And we've seen Loudness probably. I saw them open for Motley Crue back in the day when the Thunder in the East album was out, but we've seen them probably 2 or 3 times at the M3 Festival in the last 10 years. And it always kind of perplexed me that like the only like 2 songs they're really known for in the United States are Crazy Nights, and then there's another song off the next album, I forget what the hell it's called. And but they always do Crazy Nights like early in the set, like second or third song, and I don't get that. You would think that they would, like close out the show with like their hit, in quotations in the United States, but they always play that early. But they are a heavy ass band. If you think and actually Crazy Nights is kind of one of their mellower songs compared to some of the shit that they have out there, but it's really good, straightforward, like hard rock metal, borderline thrash on some of the songs. And a couple of the songs that I had never heard before was like In the Mirror that's on there, and Soul on Fire is friggin' phenomenal. And like I want to say, I think it's the In the Mirror, I think, starts out a little weird. You're like, oh, this song's gonna suck, but then it just fucking rips it up. So so check that album out, you guys. Loudness Live in Tokyo for me came out this year. And check out Billy Squier, Don't Say No from Dennis. I'll even take half on that too, because I just picked that up too, and that's a great pick. Don't Say No from Billy Squier, just fucking excellent classic rock. And like Dennis said, like play the whole first side. You'll be like, oh, I remember that song. You'll know everything on there. What?
Connection. They both have the same initials, BS, Billy Squier, Black Sabbath. So
True.
it was connected.
That's true. All right, cool.
Yours wasn't.
Yeah, it
So
was
was
not.
Loudness the band that was having the issues with the visas
Yes.
coming into?
Yep.
Okay.
That's why
Yeah.
I
I
saw
don't
them
know,
once.
there's the two Japanese bands I remember is Loudness and then was it EZO?
EZO, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I thought it was Loudness as the one that they keep getting their visas messed up because they missed what M3.
They missed M3 the one year, yeah. And actually, we met the singer, and we met Akira Takasaki is the guitar player. This guy is phenomenal. I guess he makes his own guitars, and
Yeah,
he didn't speak much English, but like he took pictures with us and stuff, and we talked to the singer a little bit. He like really broken English, but like really nice guys, and they literally flew from Japan to Maryland to do like one show, which was crazy. So like they were like I couldn't even tell you if they were like a day ahead or a day behind when we were talking to them. But I mean, they flew into that one show and they absolutely fucking tore it up.
Yeah.
So definitely check them out. And Dylan's picks NIB, Nativity in Black, a tribute to Black Sabbath, and Evil Lives, which Dylan said the cover looks like the Live Evil cover.
It's similar, yeah.
Yeah. And for NIB, I don't, that being a Sabbath song also, I don't think they've ever definitively said what that means. I don't think they've ever said that it means Nativity in Black. I think that's something that someone threw out there.
Yeah.
I don't think the band ever came out and said that that's what this means. I think they just kind of leave it like just, okay, it's NIB.
Yep.
So, all right. Let's get back into our picks. And Dylan, we'll let you do your next three picks next.
Okay, so this is where people might start pulling out the pitchforks.
Never.
It'll be my last song that the pitchforks might come out, but I don't know. Maybe everybody will like it. Okay, so I'll start with Volume 4 was my next chronological pick. I went with Supernaut. Love that song. Has a cool little drum break. It's got a groove going on. It's very interesting, but honestly, it's a classic Sabbath song, I think. It's a lesser-known classic Sabbath song, but I do hear it once in a while on the radio. It's pretty well-known.
They'll bust it out on the Boneyard once in a while.
I would say it's maybe the third well-known song on that album, behind Changes in Snowblind. Maybe.
Probably.
My next song is off of Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, which I love that album, but I tried to keep it to one song with it. I actually have a shirt of that album. I was going to wear it today, couldn't find it. But this isn't a video podcast, so it wouldn't have made any difference.
I'd only be seeing it.
Yeah. I picked Sabracadabra. I first heard this song when Metallica covered it. It appeared on Garage Incorporated, and it was mixed with the Natural Acrobat, or the Acrobat song.
National Acrobat.
Yeah, National Acrobat. That's also on Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. Great riff. I love the riff in this song. It's so... I like to call this a circus riff for some reason, because I just picture trapeze artists going to this riff. I don't know why, but it's very much
Okay.
like an old school bluesy rock and roll song, and Ozzy's vocals again very high on this song. But it's a classic song. Has a nice change towards the end. All of my songs have really cool changes in them, but I did not pick the song Changes. However, transitioning perfectly into my next song off of Technical Ecstasy, which was the very first time I heard this album ever, because I had heard, oh, this is when Sabbath started really taking the drugs, and they were off the reservation with this song, and they had no idea what they were doing. I really like this album. It's not by any means a Black Sabbath album in my mind, because it doesn't have the doom feel. It's very much more of the time, but it's a fantastic album, and this song, You Won't Change Me, is one of my favorite Sabbath songs after hearing it on this album. It starts off with the really cool electric organ, and it has one of my favorite things in a song is a bluesy, apocalyptic feel as the chorus goes, and then Tony Iommi's solo in it is one of the most note-filled solos I've ever heard him play, but it works perfectly for the song because it's been building to it as it goes and goes. It's very much like Since I've Been Loving You in terms of how it builds, and I love that song from Led Zeppelin, so I couldn't not end my list with You Won't Change Me from Technical Ecstasy, which, very underrated album. I could have picked that as my hidden gem because I love that album.
All right. Dennis, what do you think of Dylan's picks?
Oh, great picks, actually. I have one of those songs. I won't tell you which one. But no, I think they're all good. Like I said, the one that he was, what was the last one you talking about? That don't.
You Won't Change Me.
What was the name? Yeah, that one there. That was actually, I was considering that one also, and I because you can only pick 6, so I went with the rules. But no, I'm like you. I think that the whole album, like you said, is different. It's not the dark, like the first album or the earlier albums. And like I said, it's probably very drug influenced and what have you. But it was, it is a part of their history and a part of their change. They progressed through time. And but no, I like that song. Like I said, there's no bad songs on any of their albums. It just it doesn't matter of opinion. But no, I do like, and like I said, there's the one, Sabracadabra was the one that I picked too, and I'll talk about it here in a little bit because I've got a little different view to it than you do. But I think, and thank you for telling me that it was on the Garage Days, because when I listened to that, I'm like going, I've heard this fucking song before, but I've not heard this version, and I'm just like, well, where have I heard it from before? I'll have to pull up my Garage Days CD if I can find it somewhere. So anyway, but that's where I've heard it before. It was from Metallica. So thank you for answering.
Is it blasphemous to say I might like the Metallica version a little better? I like how it's produced a little better.
Right.
No, because actually when we get into my picks, one of the songs, there's another band that does a version of it that I really love more than the Black Sabbath version. But I think they're good picks. Supernaut is a really cool song, and it is. It's kind of semi under the radar, I think, but just like you put that on, and that's another song that I'm going to say it again, that you hear it and you're like, why isn't this like up there with War Pigs and Paranoid and shit like that? Because it's a fucking great song. Sabracadabra, I'm kind of leaning a little bit with you, Dylan. Like when I heard that, and I was thinking the same thing as Dennis. I'm like, where the fuck did I hear this song before? Like, and it's been a while since I've heard even that song. I haven't listened to Garage Days in probably longer than I haven't listened to this album. But like, great song, really cool. And You Won't Change Me has a very Doors feeling to it with that keyboard in it. I think it has that kind of and she walked on down the hall kind of keyboard thing to it, But I think that this, and I think you're right, Dylan. I think this album is like a kind of a hidden gem. It is not the if you got someone that never heard Black Sabbath and you played, the first album for them, and then you play this album, they would say, "Are you fucking kidding me? This is the same band?" Like, they'd be like, "No way." But
especially if you put on the Bill Ward song.
On It's All Right. I heard when I put that on, I'm like, who the fuck is singing this song? I'm like, that is not Ozzy singing it. Then I look, I'm like, oh, it's Bill Ward. I'm like, wow, like, and it's like, you would not think that that's what the fuck Bill Ward sings like, sounds like singing a song. Like, you don't know what it is, but like, that's not what you would think.
If I didn't hear it in the context of the album.
I did the same thing. The exact thing. I'm like going, that's not Ozzy. I had fucking had Google and shit look at what it was. And I'm like you guys, like, Bill Ward shouldn't sound like that.
I know. I'm thinking, wow. Like, you look at the picture of the dude from the 70s, you go, that can't be that guy. Like, no fucking way. But it is, though. It's crazy. And You Can't Change Me, just a cool song. Totally, I think out of all the songs that we've all picked today, this is the most un-Sabbath-like Sabbath song.
Yeah, absolutely.
In all of our picks today, including mine that are coming up next. And I'll go right into that. And the first one I pick is Hole in the Sky from Sabotage. Just a cool song. Like, rockin', like one of the great riffs. And this is one that they bust out on, like, XM every now and then and stuff like that. It's a cranking song. And have Dennis and Dylan, I'm sure Dylan probably has. Dennis, have you heard the Pantera version of this song?
No, I have not.
Oh, really? When we get done here, throw it on. It's like fucking fantastic. It's like Sabbath's version, but like on fucking speed. Like, it's just it's so ramped up, so much. You can tell that these guys are like massive Sabbath fans, and they just want to do the song justice, and they put that Pantera spin on it. But it is just a great song, and it ends abruptly on the album. It just, like, right? Is this the song? It just stops. because I was listening to it, and it just like fucking stopped. I'm like, what the? I'm like, it was weird the way that I don't know if it's the way that it was caught on iTunes or whatever. And then I kind of went a little bit ahead of the 70s for my next pick, and it's the song Methandemic from the 13 album, came out in 2013. I wanted to represent a little bit of the newest Sabbath, or the last Sabbath album, and just a straight-up rocker. And actually, if you take Ozzy's vocals out of this song, you could throw Ronnie James Dio's vocals in this song, and it would be a perfect song that would fit on like Heaven and Hell or Mob Rules. It's just a straight-out rocker, just a fucking excellent song. And my final pick is going to be Fairies Wear Boots, Jack the Stripper, Fairies Wear Boots from Paranoid from the 1970 album. So I went from the end to almost the beginning for my last two picks. And I just love this song. When we saw Sabbath, and actually we'll talk about Sabbath live in a couple seconds too. I forgot to mention that. I had never seen Sabbath live with Ozzy until 2017.
It was the End Tour.
And the End Tour. And it was myself, Dylan, BC, and then two of our other friends, Jamie Hunter and his girlfriend Tara. Crazy, and they played this song, and I love at the end when he's like that, yeah, we were all like fucking just like screaming it. It was like the best part of the show, because like cool. when he on the Speak of the Devil album, when he does that, yeah, we were all just kind of looking at one another. We all just like fucking screaming at the same time, like with the 20,000 other people that were there. And it was just like that was my favorite moment of the whole show. Just all of us just fucking screaming that part. And it's always been one of my favorite Sabbath songs. And I just absolutely fucking love it. I'm smiling ear to ear just talking about the song, how fucking cool it is, and how awesome that fucking moment was. So, Dylan, about these ones.
Yeah, Hole in the Sky was on my list for a little bit, but then I saw you were picking it, so I decided to back off. Love that song. Pantera version's awesome. It's a much better Black Sabbath cover that they do than Planet Caravan, which is such a weird song that they picked to cover. Because that's a weaker Sabbath song, I think.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. I think Hole in the Sky is fantastic. It's got that energy to it that I look for in the later Sabbath era. Methandemic, I was disappointed that you didn't keep in the 70s, because since this month is 70s month.
I know. I can't stay totally in the rules all the time.
But it is a fantastic song, and actually I was thinking along the same lines as you. I felt like this could have fit on the Heaven and Hell, The Devil You Know album. It almost starts off like Bible Black does, with the acoustic-ish guitar, but then it goes into this really awesome driving force that you didn't think it was going to go into, judging from the beginning. So I really enjoyed it, and it was the first time I had heard it, because I never really checked out the 13 album besides God Is Dead, which those are probably my two favorite tracks, Methodemic and God Is Dead. And then Fairies Wear Boots, we've talked about it. It's a fantastic song, a classic Sabbath song, if ever there was one.
Right. Okay. Dennis.
Same Fairies Wear Boots, classic, super classic song. Who doesn't like that song? The Hole in the Sky, I do like that song. Like I said, what album is that? The Pantera version of that? Is it on a?
It's a Japanese bonus track on.
Okay.
I just had it pulled up.
Look it up. I'm sure.
Reinventing the Steel.
Yeah, and you can even pull it up on YouTube too.
Oh, it does. Okay, I'm going to check that out, because I do want to enter that. And of course, 13. I forgot that was an Ozzy album with Black Sabbath. That's what like well shit. So I didn't even listen to it. Now the only one I know off that album is the one is God Is Dead. Yeah, that's the only song I know off that album. I've never even heard this other song.
Okay.
So
check it out.
I can't. Once I listen to it, I will let you know.
All right, sounds cool.
It looks like.
All right.
It looks like it's also on the Best of Pantera, so it's on Spotify. Okay. I just pulled it up.
Yeah. All right. Before we wrap up, Dennis, do you have any?
Wait a second. He has his last picks.
Oh, I thought he picked.
No, he didn't do his last.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Last picks?
No, I'm sorry. See that, wow. Dennis? That means you're part of the family, because I fucking skipped you too.
Hey, I feel like I fit in.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead. I don't know why I did that.
I don't either.
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, no big deal.
My bad.
Okay. My first pick was Changes, and it's one of those songs I picked it just because it's different. It is so different than everything. And I like that lonely piano sound and Ozzy's droning voice together. You know, I just and it almost, and you know all the stuff that Ozzy's been through on his lifetime with his, you know, his evils that he's dealt with and all this stuff. So this song, you know, it kind of has a, you know, there's a back story to the song. There's more. He's singing. I think he's singing to it with more feeling than you think. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the reason I like that song. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's a good song. Once again, Sabracadabra. I love that song. It's got it's just a classic hook kind of thing. Now, like I said, I kept thinking it reminded me of something, and I said now that you said it was on the Metallica Garage Days, okay, I've heard that then. To me, it actually sounds Spinal Tap-ish. Now, I like Spinal Tap, and I've got a few of their albums. It has a Spinal Tap kind of feel to it. I don't know, and that's what it reminds me of. So it's kind of an odd, you know, thing that my brain goes to. I don't know why it does that. My last pick is Never Say Die. I think that song there, it's another one of those upbeat, you know, the guitar parts are upbeat. It's got that faster kind of chop to it, and it is a good song. Those are my three picks.
Cool. Dylan, what do you think?
Changes. I absolutely love that song, and I think I'm gonna say that that's probably the least Sabbath-like song that we talked about today. Because
Okay.
you don't expect
Well, I didn't know he was going to pick that.
a piano ballad to come in and Ozzy to be singing really well. And I do agree, there is some heart to it, and it feels like it means something. And I absolutely love that song. Speaking of sampled, it was sampled by Eminem for the song Going Through Changes.
Oh, good.
So there you go, Dad.
There you go.
Sabracadabra, obviously, I think it's a great pick. I picked it. And Never Say Die is also... back to Sabracadabra. I do agree, I could hear Spinal Tap in it. That reference is going to go right over my dad's head. He's never seen the movie, which is travesty.
Are you kidding me, Steve?
I have not. I've never seen it. I hear everybody talking about it. I just have never fucking seen it.
I'm going to listen to 13. Sometime this weekend, I'm going to listen to 13. And sometime this weekend, you got to get a copy of Spinal Tap and watch it.
Yes.
You're not going to be disappointed.
We'll watch
you
it
will
together.
Not be disappointed.
Is it on Netflix or something?
I'm going to look that up right after I talk about the
It's
rest of it.
probably on YouTube, to be honest. I've got one that's got 4 hours of extra material on it. I got the DVD that's a special edition. It's got all these outtakes and shit. It's great. I mean, it is basically it's got so many classic lines in it. Steve, I can't believe.
It's so good.
This is the second time this happened this week. We had a young guy that I work with who's never seen Smokey and the Bandit. I'm like going, what?
Oh.
What?
Oh.
How do you not seen Smokey and the Bandit?
That is a crime. You some bitch.
Load up the truck. Be a long way to go and a short time to get there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Never Say Die is a fantastic song too. Definitely my favorite off of that album. That album is one that might need to grow on me. I wasn't a giant fan of that album, but I was a fan of this song.
Right. Yeah. Great picks. Changes like you threw me a curveball there. I didn't see that one coming. But like really, really cool. And I'm not a massive fan of it, but I think the version I remember the most of it is watching the Ozzy Live and Loud video with Zakk Wylde playing the piano and Ozzy singing it. That's like the version that like sticks in my mind, and I thought that was cool. Even though I'm not a huge fan of the song, that was a cool way to do it, and a cool version of it. And Sabracadabra talked about that one. Never Say Die. I love the way that kicks off that album right off the bat, and really cool. I'm not really sure what the fuck that album cover is with those, the pilots with the masks and shit. Kind of weird, but so is that Ozzy and like Bill Ward maybe or something on there? Who knows? But really cool though. I do like how that kicks off that album. Cool song, and I think I agree with you, Dylan. I kind of need to let that album grow on me a little bit. But before we close out here today, let's real quick, Dennis, do you have any Black Sabbath concert experiences? Have you ever seen Sabbath in any type or form?
I have not seen Sabbath. I have seen Ozzy twice. I saw him with with Jakey Lee. That would have been the
Either Ultimate
Oh,
Sin or Bark at the Moon.
Sin, yeah, no, it was Ultimate Sin, and then I saw him again in Evansville here at Robert Stadium, and it was actually I don't know I don't even know the guitar player that was playing with him. It was
Joe
just one of
Holmes?
those odd, probably yeah.
Joe Holmes.
It was just one of those odd deals, but it was a good night. You know, Ozzy's always fun, and but like I said, I want to see him with Zach. I wish I could see Zach.
Never any
Actually,
like with Dio or anything.
No, actually, no, because Black Sabbath, I really honestly don't think they ever really came close to here when they were touring. If it was, it would have been like when I was too young to go
Right.
to the concerts, you know. But Dio actually came to town at one point. I think it was during the Last in Line tour, and they got canceled a week before, I guess, because of no ticket sales.
Oh, that
And I had bought
sucks.
tickets, so I had to get a replay. So I never got to see Dio either. So
What tour was that? Do you know? Oh, you said Last in Line, right?
I think it was Last in Line.
Wow, that's crazy.
It had to be. Evansville's a really fucked up town, and excuse my French, but
I thought we were bad.
we book they book these damn country concerts, and they can just they'll just fill the place up.
Yeah, that
They had
sounds like
Priest,
around here.
We had Priest. Well, actually, the night that we all got together and talked about this show was at a Priest concert, and dude, there wasn't. It was maybe a third full that night. It's just crazy. It was a great show, but the problem is they just can't sell them here, so we don't get very many rock shows.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, you
go.
fill a place or half fill it, they're not going to come back. That's for sure.
No, so we go to Indy, or I have to go to Louisville, or I have to go to Nashville, which all of them are within 2 hours, But it just sucks because we can't get a good show here. Alice is actually coming here, and I'm going to be going to see him in October, I believe it is.
Oh, that's cool.
And but he doesn't do the big stadium. He just does.
He does like the theaters. Yeah.
Yeah, the theater type deal, which is a nice one, a nice area, or a nice one to go. So.
Oh, absolutely. All right, Dylan, how about your Black Sabbath concert experience?
So I've only
Singular.
seen the original lineup plus Tommy Clufitos, as Ozzy would say, and they were fantastic. I was always an Ozzy detractor until I saw Ozzy live. He has this energy and this presence on stage that gets you into the songs, and it doesn't translate as well, I think, on DVD or on video. But when you're there and you're with the crowd, it's something else entirely. It's like, because you're watching a video and you're seeing Ozzy do this frog jump, and you're like, why is
thinking, "That's
everybody
stupid."
Yeah, why is everybody getting excited about this? But when you're there and you're seeing it happen in front of you and seeing the big grin on his face as he's singing in front of the crowd and reading off the teleprompter, it's fantastic. It has this awesome vibe to it, and the same can be said when he's solo. He was fantastic and I saw him with Zach Wilde and again Tommy Clufitos. I love the way that he goes, Tommy Clufitos on drums.
It's probably in huge letters spelled phonetically on the fucking teleprompter.
I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
But they were great live. I wish I got to see Heaven and Hell play, because that's a lineup I absolutely would have thought they would have blown me away, I'm sure.
Yeah. For as far as I go, I've seen actually 3 different versions of Sabbath live.
I feel like you pulled up this topic just to brag.
Huh?
I feel like you're just bragging.
No, I want everybody to hear all this shit. I got to see them with Tony Martin, actually, and Motorhead and Kicks. Was it Motorhead and Kicks? Motorhead and Kicks, I think, opened up for them, but Kicks was rained out.
One of those bands is not like the other.
Yeah. But just a fantastic show. I love the Tony Martin era of Black Sabbath, and actually we got to see Heaven and Hell, the Dio incarnation. They came out with the album. We saw them in Binghamton, New York. Fantastic show, and it was cool just to see them do all of the Dio Black Sabbath stuff, where he didn't have to do Paranoid and he didn't have to do Iron Man and shit like that. It was just all Dio era Sabbath. Was really fucking cool. And then we talked about the show we were at with Ozzy and Ozzy, Geezer, Tony, and Tommy Clufitos. And but just and Dylan, it was absolutely right. He has this energy about him when you see him live. And then this last year, actually within like 2 years, we got to see him with Zach It was myself, me, Dylan, and BC went to see him, and Zach Wild is just fucking insane. I mean, this guy, he was like one of the biggest friggin' guys drinking all the time, and this guy is like fucking sober now, and he's just as fucking crazy. It's just insane to see him play live. He's got his kilt on, and he fucking just walks through the crowd. He did this solo, and I'm not a huge, and you guys listen to the show, I'm not a huge solo guy, but he just fucking tore it up, and just kick ass. And so Ozzy had to cancel a bunch of tour dates this year, so he's supposed to be rescheduling them for next year, so hopefully Ozzy does get back out there. And before we wrap up here, I just want to say, you guys, all the songs that we talked about here tonight on the podcast, you can check out on our Spotify playlist that Dylan will so kindly post on our on the podcast, and we will post a link to Ages of Rock so you guys can check out Dennis, Bill Algie, and Alan Tate, the Ages of Rock crew. And before we wrap up, Dennis, give us your final words and give everybody a good shot about your podcast.
Well, like I said, I appreciate you, Steve, having me on here tonight. Like I said, I love the opportunity when we do these podcasts and we get a certain opportunity to listen to music that we maybe have missed. I mean, this stuff's been around forever. It's not like it's been hidden. I just haven't listened to it, and now this made me, take a stop, smell the flowers, listen to the music, what have you. And no, it's been cool. Like I kept texting the guys on our podcast, going, God damn, it's some good music. I wish I would have listened to it years ago. But it's just one of those things that you just keep finding. The thing is, rock is not dead. There's good music out there if you could find it, and there's actually good music that's already been made that you haven't listened to yet. You just gotta be, put in the right direction, or like this. Take an opportunity and listen to a band that you kind of like some songs to. Go back through their back catalog, because now with Spotify and these other things, you can do that. You can listen to the whole catalog without having to go out and buy it or find it or what have you, like that. So, but anyway, we like I said, keep listening to these guys because they have a great podcast. But like I said, if you want to listen to something, we do kind of the same thing. We do guests. We sit around talking bullshit. It's like three guys that sit around drinking beer, talking about rock and arguing, and we don't agree sometimes, and sometimes we do.
I think it's even better when you don't agree.
Exactly, it does. I mean, we actually, this last show when Alan was not there, I had a buddy of mine who, that's what we do. He lives in Indy now, but he used to live out of the country. And when we get together, 98% of our conversation is about rock and roll, and we argue constantly about what's good and what's bad. So that's why I had him on, and it was a fun. We all actually at the end we all kind of agreed and kind of kumbaya kind of thing, But anyway, I appreciate you having me on though. It was a good time, and can't wait to see you guys in September. When is it?
Oh,
August.
August. Yep, August 9th and 10th.
There you go. August. And we'll see you in Nashville. Hang out the whole weekend. You guys are going to be down there on Friday, right?
Yes. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, the Rock and Roll Residency that's going to be just a fun night of music. I can't wait to see that.
I can't wait.
My wife's never. I've seen them a few times, and my wife's never seen them, so she's going to really. I told her, I was like, we got to get down there as soon as we get off work. We got to get our ass to Nashville.
Cool. Absolutely.
Get your ass to Mars.
All right, thank you, Dennis. Dylan.
All right.
I first want to say thanks, Dennis, for coming on. It's always great to have new co-hosts to hop on to shoot the shit and talk about some great music. And we had some awesome music to talk about tonight. I really like Black Sabbath. This is the first time I've listened to a lot of these albums, though. And it's a real shame that I overlooked Technical Ecstasy, especially, because that's an album that I especially would have really loved when I was younger. And I love it now, but it's an underrated album, I think, and there's a lot of underrated Black Sabbath stuff. As for you listeners, hey, be sure to keep sharing us with everybody, and make sure, if you really love the podcast, converse with us, because we would love to hear what your top 6 Black Sabbath songs are. We would love to hear what you think of the podcast in general. Give us a review on iTunes, good or bad. Constructive criticism is always welcome. We want to make the podcast better for you, because it is for you, the listeners.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dylan. I want to say thank you again, Dennis, for coming on with us tonight. You guys have an awesome podcast, so you guys out there, check out Ages of Rock podcast with Dennis Talbot Alan Tate and Bill Alge. Those guys have a great show going there. I want to thank you again for inviting me onto your show a couple weeks ago. It was great getting on there with you guys. You guys, check out some Sabbath. I'm telling you what, break away from Iron Man and War Pigs and Paranoid. Dig deeper in these albums. There's some awesome stuff out there. And like Dylan said, let us know what you guys, if you don't want to give us your top 6, give us your top 3. And actually, while I'm saying that, I apologize. I'm going to backtrack real quick here. BC gave me his top 6 songs for Sabbath, and I'll read them off real quick. Evil Woman, Black Sabbath, Fairies Wear Boots, Symptom of the Universe, War Pigs. I told you get away from War Pigs, BC. Never Say Die. And actually, this very second, BB just texted me his. So he's got The Wizard, Children of the Grave, Sabracadabra, Hole in the Sky, Sweet Leaf, and Snowblind. So there's a ton of great songs out there, and there's ones that we didn't even talk about that are kick-ass, these deeper tracks on these albums. So get out there, check out some Deep Sabbath, and we will be back next week with another 70s, that other 70s episode, maybe, Dylan.
70s episode.
That 70s episode. And
hanging out down the street.
With Cheap Trick.
things.
Maybe we'll get Cheap Trick to do our theme song too.
Hello, Wisconsin.
Yeah. So you guys, like Dylan said, check us out, review us, get us out there, check us out. We're gonna have the Spotify playlist up, like I said before, and take care of yourselves, you guys. Take care of each other, and we will see you next time. And there definitely will be a next time.